I read 8 books in the month of June. A Marriage of Convenience, a runaway heiress with sex magic, a woman literally surviving a bus crash, and a Ghanaian woman in London who is so tired of being the backbone to her family. And somehow, the saddest book is not the one that wrecked me. Let's get into my June wrap up. Hey stranger danger of the internet. I'm Princess, and this is where we judge books, not people. June was a really good reading month for me. We had a little bit of everything. We had some romantasy, we had some lit fic, we had some contemporary romance. 8 books total. I'm gonna rank them all, and somewhere in the middle, I'm gonna give you the 3 books that I DNF, and also I'm gonna give you who these books are best for. Okay. First up, we have Church Girl by Naima Simone. This follows Aaliyah, who is a runaway bride, preacher's daughter in a very small town. She flees to Chicago, where she knows her cousin, and she becomes a not qualified nanny to a rough around the edges tattoo artist. He owns his own business, and he's a single dad raising his 7-year-old daughter. Things kind of spark and they hit it off. This book is best for readers who like the sweet girl meets the rough around the edges, big city, lots of attitude, love interest. The single dad trope, and also a hint of like soul searching without being under the eyes of your small town, your very religious family, and kind of stepping out, experiencing life as a newly single woman. Okay, I did really enjoy this book. I think this was it was a great romance, right? But I think the issue that I was having the most was with the MMC. He kind of felt like a 2-dimensional character to me. Hear me out. A lot of it had to do with the language, right? So he spoke the same way to his mom. He spoke the same way to his friends, and he was a small business owner. He owned a tattoo shop, and he spoke the same way to his employees and his ex-wife and his nanny. Like he had this, and there's nothing wrong with what you see is what you get. There's nothing wrong with that, but when it came time for them to like form their own relationship, and when you're in a relationship, or especially when you're starting out, you want to be in this little like bubble and getting to know each other and the intimacy. I would have just appreciated if he was different with her behind closed doors, because he spoke the same way and used the same language, which is very not necessarily urban but rough around the edges. I'm not a proponent of foul language. I love a good foul mouth. I don't have an issue with the language he was using. I have an issue with his lack of scope when he was with her in these intimate moments. I just wanted there to be a different version of him versus the exact same man that we get at when he's at work, when he's with his friends. I just wanted, you can be rough and tough at work, you're the boss, and with your friends and all of this kind of stuff, but when you're with me, I want you to be a little different. You know what I mean? Like, even in the bedroom, like the language he was using in the bedroom was the exact same language he was using in the workplace. And so I just felt like it was very 2-dimensional for the MMC. He was just, and again, there's nothing wrong with what you see is what you get, but I wanted more, not necessarily character development, but more range from him. And I think that was my only gripe. I wanted to grow with them in their relationship, right? She's from a small town and she moves to Chicago, and she's small town, big city, and she grew up very religious and all of these kind of stuff. So she was transforming and she was growing, and he was just kind of like the same from beginning to the end of the book. And so that was okay. It was cool. It was what it was. I gave this a solid 3. We're about reps and reps, right? Oh, we're on. Okay. Book 2 is Spilling the Tea by Brenda Jackson. I read a couple a couple of Brenda Jackson books last year, and this was just on my radar. However, I did not know Spilling the Tea was a part of a 25 book multi-family saga. I did not know that. So this follows the 90-something-year-old matriarch in the family, and she has vowed to matchmake every single one of her great-grandchildren. Hence the multi-family saga over the span of 25 books. So this particular book follows Chance. He is a war vet turned rancher. This is him just reopening his heart to new opportunities. But also, what I really loved about this book, even though it's book 25, and I didn't read the other books, and I have no intentions on reading the other books, but I think because this is the last book in the series, it's kind of like a 2-for-1. So there's a historical romance part of the book where you go back into their family history and how it all started and all of that kind of stuff, and unraveling some family secrets, spilling the tea. And then there's the present day that's focused on the current great-grandson Chance and his love interest. There were some moments in the book where I felt wait, am I supposed to know who this cousin is? And am I supposed to know who the uncle is and the son? There's 7 sons. So there's that aspect of it where I was clearly supposed to know who all of these other characters were, and I did not. But that didn't get in the way of the actual plot and the actual story. So good. This book is best for readers who love sprawling family sagas, romances with a big cast, multi-family, and a meddling, lovable grandma matriarch of the family. This book definitely gave Hallmark vibes. It was very wholesome, small town, big family type of thing. If Hallmark Channel did black stuff, that's where this book meets. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say cozy, but it is kind of. There's a grandma involved, and she wants all of her grandbabies and great grandbabies to find love. Definitely, I don't want to say cute in a disrespectful kind of way, but it is cute. It's wholesome. It's heartwarming. So if you are interested in any of those type of cozy Hallmark, good for the soul type of movies, this book is definitely up your alley for sure. I rated this a solid 3. This was good. It was an easy book to get into because there was so much going on, but none of the drama was drama. Again, Hallmark, right? And none of the other characters, who I had no idea their status in the book, I had no idea what the references were or anything like that, that still didn't get in the middle of me enjoying this book, even though it's 25 in the series. Good book. Let me stop playing. Okay, book 3 is A Bridge Back to You by Rhys M. Neilson. This follows Olivia and Carmelo. They were each other's first loves until Olivia gets some wanderlust and she's just I need to be out in the world. At 19, she just goes off and has an adventure as a private chef and working in restaurants around the world. 10 years later, Carmelo's mother died and she leaves Olivia a piece of their family's restaurant, and so she flies back home, and Camilo's this is my mom's restaurant. Why are you here? Why did she leave you a piece of the restaurant? And so she's just trying to figure out, does she go back on the road and see the rest of the world, or does she stay and put down roots? And this is the second book that I read by this author. I can't think of the name of the other book, but I will have it here. I felt the same way about this book as I did with that book, which is there is some heavy topics in this book when it comes to female medical issues. I believe this main character has fibroid, I believe, something like that. And I forget what the other FMC in the other book has, but she also has some medical issues. How can I say this? They're good books. They are. I just wish that when discussing these hard issues that these women are dealing with, I kind of felt I wanted more. I don't know. I want it more. When something is just missing, You know what I mean? Just like a little, like it needed just like a little something, like a kick of something. The writing was good. The plot was there. The love was there. Like it was good. It was just missing. I don't know if it was paprika. I don't know if it was some hot sauce. I don't know what it was about both of these books by these authors that I finished the book feeling, you know what I mean? Like this could have been a heart-wrenching story, and I think it was supposed to be. And I think it was supposed to be, however, like a pinch of something. It was a pinch of something that I can't put my finger on, but everything was there. Everything was mixing together, you know? And I don't know. I rated this one what did I rate you? A 3. This was a solid 3. This was a good book, but you know, this book is really good for readers who like a really good slow burn, culinary enriched romances where both the MMC and the FMC are in the kitchen cooking up a little something. Second chance love stories. I'm not a huge fan of Second Chance. I'll leave that there. It was good. And again, her other book, which I can't think of the name of, was also a 3. It needed some hot sauce or something. Let me know in the comment section if you've read these 2 books by this author, Reese M. Neilson. Am I off? They're good. They're just missing something. On to the next book. Book 4 is Terror at the Gates by Scarlett Clair. This is a feminist reimagining of Lilith's story. Estranged from her powerful family, Lilith survives by stealing in this sin-soaked district in the city of Eden. When a cursed blade she steals starts killing people, she teams up with a enemy of hers. I don't know his name. Don't ask me to pronounce it. He has always had a soft spot for her, and so he's like, okay, babe, sure, I'll protect you, right? And the 2 of them get pulled into this conspiracy that's bigger than the both of them. This is really good for readers who obviously like romantasy, but a little darker, a little grittier, biblical mythology. And I think that was the best part for me. The biblical aspect of it was actually, I don't want to say original, but it was more entertaining than your typical romantasy, which I feel like collectively we're kind of all tired of to a degree. Also, in this book, only women have power, right? And the church is supposed to be the one that's supposed to be making sure that the women are under control so that they, the church and the men, can have access to their power. Do with that what you will. Right? I like these types of romantasy. I'm kind of over the whole cutesy 19-year-old, 700-year-old sugar daddy, shadow daddy. And I don't know, those stories are just kind of, that trope has been done and beat to death. This was actually a really good romantasy. Yeah, I rated this a 3.8. This was good. And I believe this is a series. Do I know anything about the other books? I don't know. But I had such a good time with this. Oh, I don't know where that came from. Okay, real talk. If you made it this far in the video, thanks. Thank you so much. You're exactly my kind of reader. And I'm trying to grow this little corner of BookTube. I am new to this space. Hey, hi, how are you? I've only been doing this a couple months and I want to connect. I want to get into the conversation. I want to discuss things, right? I'm not really interested in like asking people to subscribe because subscriptions don't really matter, but I'm looking for my people. I want to get some discussions going, you know? And so I'm looking for readers that are into lit fic and contemporary romance and a little bit of fantasy. Yeah, and if that sounds like you, hey, what's up? How are you? Like the video, comment down below if any of these books so far are gonna make it to your TBR. Maybe if you've read them, you've rated them differently than I have. If you've noticed, I haven't gotten to any 5 stars yet, you know? So I'm picky, and I'm stingy with my 4 and 5 stars, all right? If that's you, hey girl, hey, right? Also, I'm gonna take this moment before I get into the rest of the books that I read. I wanna take this little chunk of section to talk about the books I DNF'd, right? There are 3. Where are they? In a little notebook. Okay, the 3 books that I DNF'd in the month of June, Masters of Death. Why? Technically good. Technically a well-written book. The mayhem, the game that they were playing, there's a ghost, there's a vampire, there's Death himself, and also his godson. Interesting book. I just couldn't get into it. You know what I mean? Like, technically, it's a well-written book with no issues. I just couldn't connect. When I put the book down, I didn't feel like, ooh, what's gonna happen in the next chapter? That didn't happen for me. And for fantasy, I need that because I'm not a big fantasy reader. And so when I do read fantasy, bitch, you need me to be locked in. If you don't have me locked in to my imagination, then you've lost me. You did. You've lost me, and unfortunately, you can't get me back. So, Masters of Death, I DNF'd. And I got like 50% into the book. So, there was that. Book 2. Ooh, don't come for me. Don't come for me. Don't come for me. Immortal Dark. I'm sorry. Hear me out. Is it a good book? Yes, it is. But I'm not really into YA, right? And so not only do I not gravitate towards YA because it's not written for me at my big age. And so I have a hard time being harsh or rating or judging or anything like that for YA because it's not fair. It's not written for me. So that's one reason why I DNF'd it. It wasn't for me. 2, I like my vampire books to be dark and gritty and sexy. And this was that but light. You know, it's like I want HBO vampire, not the CW vampires. You get what I'm saying? Like, good, but I want dark. I want a bloody mess. I want gritty when it comes to vampires. And so, yeah, I DNF'd only because it's YA. And I just didn't want to be there anymore. Book 3, An Unkindness of Ghosts by River Solomon, I think. I'm not sure. But I've been wanting to read books by this author for a while now. And the premise of this book sounded interesting. They're in space and the blacks are slaves. Concept, great. Execution, sure. I don't like anything in space. I don't like Star Wars. I don't like Star Trek. I don't care about anything that is intergalactic, personally. That's not my jam. When the story was getting good, but once they start talking ship lingo, deck 7 and deck, I don't want to be on the ship. I don't want to be in outer space. That's just not my jam. I just don't care. I don't have any interest in that type of imagination. I just don't. The only type of media that I have ever consumed from beginning to end was that had to do with space and spaceship was Disney's Xenon. Not 2, the first one with Raven Simone. You get what I'm saying? That was the only type of intergalactic piece of media. I don't want it. I don't want to be out there. So I am going to give this author another read. She has another book called, I believe, Model Home or Home Model or something like that. I want to give that a go because that happens on Earth. Yeah. So those are the 3 books that I DNF'd in the month of June. Let's move on. Book 5, Maame by Jessica George. I needed to read this book, but I didn't know I needed to read this book, if you get what I'm saying. This follows Maddie, she's 25, Ghanaian, living in London. Maame means woman, and she has been the head of her household practically since childhood. She is the caretaker of her father, who has advanced Parkinson's. She is financially responsible for her mother, who is mostly absent, and she is exhausted at her work from being the only black person in the room at her company. Her mother moves back to London, and at 25 she's like, yes, okay, cool, I can finally start my life and get friends and date and all of this kind of stuff. But when she moves out, tragedy hits the family. She's forced to reckon with what she's been holding and what it means for her brother and her mother and her father to put all of their weight on her at an early age. You know, she was never allowed to just be a girl. She was always the woman, always the one holding everyone up. Like I said, this was a book that I didn't know I needed to read. this was such a good read for me. This is great for readers who like character-driven literary fiction, which is me. This is funny and devastating at the same time. She is going through all of these hardships, but while life is really crushing her and she's going through all of these experiences and learning lessons, she's still funny and has a personality, and I like that. I love that. This is definitely one of those literary fiction books that sticks with you. I rated this a 4.5. 4.5. This was such a good read for me. And also just overall, not what I expected. And I don't really know what I was expecting, but this was good. This was a great read for me. Book 6, Where the Wildflowers Grow by Terah Shelton Harris. This follows Leah, who is the last surviving member of her family. She watched them all die. When she's on a prison transport bus and it crashes, she's the last surviving member of that as well. She doesn't run from her fate. She runs into a new one, landing at a wildflower landing at a wildflower farm in rural Alabama, where found family and an unhurried love slowly helps her learn the difference between surviving and living. This is best for readers who want gorgeous lyrical prose, emotionally heavy themes handled with care, and a romance that develops over time rather than being the whole point. This is a 5-star read for me. This book reminded me of why I like literary fiction. This book right here, every piece of it, not just the human condition of it in the story, but the bittersweetness of life. You know, her story sucks, right? It's a heavy story, but again, there's the found family, and she's hardened by her life and ending up in prison and being on this farm with these people, and in this small town, she's allowed to, even though she's doing hard physical labor, being in this environment with people she's learning to trust, she's becoming softer, right? She's becoming funnier and sweeter and nicer and more communicative. And so as the story continues and she's getting softer and difficult decisions have to be made, it just starts to tug at your heart a little bit. Yeah, I like fantasy and I enjoy romance, but I am a literary fiction girly. I love a good lit fic. I want to be in my feels. I want the hurt and the pain and the found family and the romance and all of it, right? This is why I like lit fic. Where the Wildflowers Grow. 5 stars. We're almost there. Book 7, Behind the Scenes by Christina C. Jones. This follows Logan, a type A executive concierge, hired to help Pierre to get his first TV show off the ground. Both of them are used to being reduced to shallow first impression stereotypes of themselves. The privileged princess, the useless Nepo baby, but working closely together reveals 2 people quietly caring a lot. Logan is suffering from family expectations. Pierre is dealing with grief, and he is on a sobriety journey. This book is best for people who like workplace romances. This book was good. I gave this a solid 3.75. I don't think I have any qualms with this at all. Yeah. No, I don't actually. I actually don't. This was a good book. I don't think I have a take on this book. Do I? Yeah. I'm looking at my notes. This was kind of like your straightforward romance. However, there was a lot of like real emotions at stake. But I do like that both characters kind of came into this relationship with their own career aspirations, a sense of independence, but still wanting to work together. I really like that. I thought that was really cute. I love that. Yeah, Behind the Scenes, 3.75. Okay, book 8, Only Because It's You by Rebecca Fisseha. This follows Maze, who is not into marriage. She's not into strings. She's not into labels, right? You can't catch her. She has a best friend, Kyle, who is an actor who is on the verge of his big break, but he's about to get deported and he's about to lose his visa. And Ms. is like, I can't have my best friend just being shipped off like that. You know what I'm saying? He's the homie. And so I'm going to come through and we're going to get married. Love that. That's friendship. First and foremost, that's friendship. They're both Ethiopian, and because they're best friends and they've been down since childhood, both of their families is like, finally, right? So they go back home, and there's just a lot more to this marriage of convenient romance. There's a lot more cultural undertones, and I actually like that. So they live in Toronto, they're Ethiopian, and so there's this merging of cultures and borders and passports and things of that nature. Yeah, this is best for readers who enjoy a rom-com but want more going on under the surface. Even though I love marriage of convenience or fake dating, whatever, those are my favorite romance tropes. I gave this a 3. It started off great, but somewhere in the middle, I don't know, it did something, and I don't know what it was, but I can't put my finger on it, but I ended up giving it a 3. It kind of lost me somewhere when he was following, I don't know, but it started off strong. You know, the Maze, the FMC, she came out gate swinging. She was, headstrong, funny FMC. I don't know. And then something happened in the arc of this read for me that took it to a 3. And a 3 is still great. Yeah, still a great book. A 3, Marriage of Convenience, my favorite trope. Those are the books. All 8. And that is my June reading wrap up. Romance, lit fic, romantasy. Let me know in the comment section which book is going to be added to your TBR, which book have you already read, and I will see you in the next video. You're enough. Okay, thanks. Bye.